Shush you guys, which is not a fun job, so work with me. Wow, that was amazing. Okay, I'd like to introduce for our next, our first of a series of interesting case studies, Mitchell Reichgut from June Group and Brandy Unchester from Pinnacle Food Groups, and they're going to look at Just Like Homemade, social video recipes for success. So please welcome Mitchell and Brandy to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. First, I just want to thank iMedia Moms for having us here today. This is literally the most exciting campaign I've ever worked on, so I'm really happy to share it with all of you. It started about a year and a half ago. We really had a tough situation facing our brand. For those who don't know, the Aunt Jemima frozen breakfast portion of the Aunt Jemima brand is managed by Pinnacle Foods. It's relatively small. It's about 120 million in IRI retail sales. And we play against some giants in frozen breakfast like Eggo and Jimmy Dean. But we're regional. I mean, we're pretty much just east of the Mississippi. And proportionately, we have small budgets. I mean, especially when you consider our competition. So we sat back and we made some difficult decisions. We knew that we could not go head to head with the likes of Eggo. They had been out of the market, and their leadership team had expressed publicly that they would spend aggressively to rebuild the Eggo franchise. That did not sound like good news for us. We knew that we could not outspend them in a traditional TV or print advertising campaign. And even if we could, even if we had the dollars to do that, I mean, what would we say? We needed a compelling reason for consumers to choose Aunt Jemima over the competition. At that point, we just didn't really have one. So we knew we needed to overhaul the brand, and we knew once we did that, we needed a clever, efficient way to drive our message to consumers. So we made a decision. We listened to consumers about what they really thought. They did not trust food manufacturers. They thought they were big, institutional conglomerates that were only interested in the bottom line. They didn't trust what they were putting into their products or how they were made. So we visited our own plant in Jackson, Tennessee. And we were literally shocked by what we saw. But we were shocked in a good way. I mean, we make them just like you would make them in your own kitchen. For the pancakes, for instance, we pour the batter onto the griddle. It bubbles up, and then we have these automatic spatulas that flip them over, and they're done. And while we were there, we were pulled aside by employees who had to tell us how much they love working there. I mean, these people have worked there, some of them, for 30 years. And they love what they do and feeding America's families just like they would do themselves at home. And we thought, if consumers could just see this, it would really make a difference. And aside from that, we listened to what consumers wanted in their products. They wanted what they would do if they made them from scratch. Eggs, milk, flour, sugar, none of the bad stuff. They didn't want high fructose corn syrup to make their pancakes sweet. They didn't want artificial colors to make their waffles golden or their blueberries blue. So we invested in our product. We pulled out all of the artificial ingredients and produced a more wholesome, authentic, honest product that consumers, especially moms, would naturally respond. And consumers gave us this insight that couldn't be ignored. Once they heard what was in our pancakes, our waffles, and our French toast, it made a difference. The real ingredients made by real people, just like they would make them at home. It actually drove a higher purchase intent. And so with that knowledge, we knew we needed to communicate it. And our approach needed to be equally bold. I mean, we had no actors, no sets, no creative directors, no scripts. We threw it all out. Honestly, not that we had the money for it anyhow. Instead, we engaged PR firm Weber Shandwick, and we created what we called Live from the Line. We took the real employees from our plant in Jackson, Tennessee, and we chose them to be ambassadors for the brand. We used the real employees and not actors to star in our commercials. And we engaged social media experts, June Group, to help us develop the content and the distribution strategy for our program. So with that, I will hand it over to Mitchell Reichert, CEO and founder of June Group.
Thank you. She's not done yet. She's going to come back later. So Weber Shandwick brought us on board for this great thing, and it was explained to us. We're very excited about it. And as Brandy described, we created a series of videos on location at the plant using these employees that had been selected. And we'll take just a minute now and show you the results of some of this. And roll the video, please.
I still love the pancakes. They are the bomb. It tastes like homemade.
Our ingredients go into a mixer.
They're put on the hot griddles. The batter kind of bubbles up. Bubbles! And then they flip.
They're flipped.
Flipped. And that's when you know it's done.
Visit Aunt Jemima Frozen Breakfast on Facebook to find out more about how every batch is made from scratch.
So the name of our company actually means truth, and it's great when you have a nugget, a kernel of truth like this to advertise on. Wonderful creative. On the distribution end, Optimedia was brought in. I think they were hired just as this was all happening. And there was pre-roll and display and editorial placements, everything you'd expect from an online video distribution platform, except there was very limited budget. So the social aspect of it, what we were responsible for, was really intended to be the heart of the program. And we had a number of to-dos here. We had to deliver a big high number of opt-in video views. We wanted to target moms, and not just every mom. It was African-American skewing, if possible, and east of the Mississippi. We wanted sharing, we wanted pass along, and everything had to be tracked. So there was a lot of asks, and it was challenging because you've seen this creative. It's wonderful, intelligent creative that's persuasive, as the research indicated it would be, but it's not viral. It's not something that you're going to put out there and have, it has no kittens, there are no babies, there's nothing that's really going to just light on fire on its own. So we had to place these videos in brand-safe environments and limit the scope to certain areas in the country. It was a challenging task. How we solved it? Social games. How many here play social games like Happy Aquarium, It Girl, come on, Mall World, Words with Friends? Okay, there we go. So social games are much bigger than I think a lot of marketers really understand. It's 53% of all people that log into Facebook log in specifically to play these games. They're playing with their friends, they're playing with their families, and it's over 290 million people. So it is a huge source of audience, and especially for moms. There were a lot of studies, and I think it was published in Ad Age, an article that said that these games were primarily responsible for the death of daytime television, or at least its great diminishment. So it was a terrific place to reach moms. And what's core to social games and to this program was virtual currency. People actually swiping their credit cards to get a virtual fish on Happy Aquarium or to get an acre of land on Farmville. And it seems silly, but again, this is a multi-billion-dollar business. These 300 million people are passionate about playing these games. And virtual currency is just a big, big part of it. So how it worked with this program is, if you're playing Happy Aquarium or you're playing Mall World, we can tell who you are by your age, by your gender, and by your geographic location. So we're only going to show the video to the right people. And then they're actually going to reach out and find it because they're looking for virtual currency on their games. And it's a hugely successful model that is taking off. And the program that we did with Brandy and with Pinnacle was really one of the early ones early last year for a CPG company that was so successful. But lately, we have been doing it in leaps and bounds, and you see this value exchange model where a user actively opts into a program and gets rewarded with a virtual currency spreading all over the internet. Google has started to do it, where you can, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but it's on a lot of editorial sites now where you can take a poll and then, or a survey and then get access to content that would otherwise be gated. We see a lot of editorial placements, and we're running with a bunch of music sites where actually instead of virtual currency, it's the same social model, but you get hours of free listening for watching a video. Embedded right in the game was the video, and it was branded. And after the video played, there were sharing tools. So we showed it to millions of the right consumers who opted in to see it in return for this value exchange of currency. And the results, it was also on mobile phones, mobile devices. The results were amazing. 238,000 Facebook likes, and I think you had some other statistics around that?
We actually had 10,000 likes within the first hour of going live with our page, and we had 25,000 likes within the first 24 hours, which for our company was the biggest success we've ever had. So it was very exciting.
And there were coupons available as well, which evaporated, I think, on the first day. There were 150,000
coupons.
coupons
We ran through all
just
the
gone.
coupons.
The messaging was terrific. Obviously, it generated all these video views, very highly targeted video views. And in the last 42 seconds, just a few specifics. As you saw that video, that was the shorter version. Some of them went to 1:20. 99% of all users who logged in to see this watched to the end. 77% of the audience was women, and 83% were over 25, which was the spec. So highly successful program, pretty unique, and forward-thinking.
Yep.
And that's it. We got 21 seconds left for questions. Just kidding.
Thank you.
Thanks.